What's up, guys? Welcome back. So, new Yubel support, and I like these cards. There's also a new grinder golem, so let's take a look. This is the current build. I tested out a couple of things, as you saw in the side deck. Fire Kings, for example, to for more destruction, but it's not really needed. You're just adding bricks to your main deck as well. I feel the deck is kind of consistent. I feel like I always want to go second. The gimmick with Yubel is that you want to give your opponent like a stronger monster, or if they have like a strong monster, let's say a 3k beatstick, a Baron or something like that used up its effect, you could potentially go for game with a couple of your Yubel monsters and then, crash into them, and your opponent will get the damage you would have taken, right? So that's, I guess, the gimmick of the deck. But, of course, it can do much more. You will see it in a couple of moments featuring the new card. So again, I think I always want to go second. I'm running, a good going second package with Nips, with Kurikaras, a level 1, by the way, which is also searchable, etc. Dark Rulers is, I think, a 3-off staple against every deck, these monster negation boards. And as you saw in the extra deck, there are, generic standard answers for going second as well. Little Knight, instant staple, and that new Doomsday Zeus-alike card, also fantastic. So here is, battle it out against a couple of negations. Little Knight to, banish the Toad so it can't, use its effect. Okay, so a couple of the new cards. The new Yubel, when it's summoned, you can search or set one of the new Yubel cards. One of their continuous spells pops a card, so very similar to Fire King Island, and that will trigger the new Yubel. It's like destroyed. You can special summon the OG Yubel from your graveyard or deck or whatever. And this is also one of the new gimmicks of the deck, is that the deck has a new trap that basically is also a super polymerization, but you need to discard a card. And this new fusion is basically a Yubel fusion. It needs any Yubel monster, so Yubel itself or any of the other Yubel monsters, and any effect monster on the field. So that means, as you saw, you could potentially super poly, which is also searchable off of one of their new continuous spells, or that trap, what is it, favorite, eternal favorite, and take every effect monster from your opponent, including a Yubel monster on your side of the field, and fusion summon with them. So very similar to, what is it, Dragonlink, or against Dragonlink, and you put up that, what is it, that fusion monster that can be made with, what is it, all dragons or something? But you know what I mean. Gustav Max is definitely needed for the potential OTK, as you see here. And that's the gimmick. The new Grinder Golem has a graveyard effect that when it's in the grave and you special summon Yubel, the standard Yubel, you can give your opponent that Grinder Golem from your graveyard. And it's needed. Simply because against Yubel, your opponent normally doesn't really want to commit monsters to the field, because then there is nothing for you to attack into, or when they would be forced to attack into your Yubel monsters, again, they'll get the damage. Just don't summon against Yubel, but this new Grinder Golem is definitely needed for that. Give your opponent that grinder. It also has like an in-hand effect. Drop it to their board, very similar to the OG Grinder Golem. But you need to reveal a Yubel monster in your hand. And if it's the new Yubel, you can drop it to your field to potentially special summon it and use its effect. That's cool. But Grinder Golem doesn't really do anything during your first turn, so if you're going first, so I think it's just fine as a one-off. You can also search it with your multiple cards. So here in this case, I went first. So again, this is really desirable. Having the new Samsara Lotus is also, it's basically a lone fire for the new Yubel. Plus it's a monster negation. If your opponent activates a monster effect, send it to the graveyard and then destroy a Yubel on your field, and then that will trigger your Yubel monsters. So go for Incarnate. Ash on Misk, and I think my only interruption here is that face down trap for a potential super poly, right, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, the Pank is a problem, and Pank will just say no to that. So now, and that's a problem still, and that's why I don't feel I want to go first, is built in archetype, the deck doesn't really have too many interruptions and negations. So your opponent is free to, get rid of like Yubel or something on your side of the field. So again, that's why you probably just want to go second and potentially OTK, your opponent. Argosar hits the field, that's fine though. Conductor is eventually hitting the field as well, but again, my board is protected. This is during main phase 2 also, so this is fine. Little Knight returns. I do draw Dark Ruler, but it's not needed. I can use a continuous spell. Look at this. Send 5 counters away, search, super poly, and super poly everything away. Yes. Oh, the times. Oh, it's 2023 and you search super poly in a Yubel deck and then super poly everything away. Yes, the times, guys, the times. So Surge a trap. But this should be game, so there's going to be a time where indeed I special summon Yubel. Keep in mind that, what is it, if you special summon Yubel from the trap, both players cannot activate any card effects. And I don't know why, that might be there might be a reason, but this could block a potential Golem special from the grave, or a Surge as well from the new Yubel. Okay, so going second again, and my hand is okay-ish. I like the Magician's Souls package with Gerardo, you know, searching normals. There's Period Rise map in the main deck as well. I'm not so sure about the hefty life point cost. And you can also use one once per turn. So that's why I'm not maxing it out. But the Gate package? That's definitely, definitely staple. You know, the level 2 Beckoning Beast gives you an extra normal summon. It searches the gates. Gates, can you discard the card to reborn like a Yubel? So again, fantastic. Super stable for the deck. Again, these are some, you know, standard Vanadium combos. We know the trap is there, so that's already an omnication, but wait for it. There is a potential way to OTK through this board, and Dark Ruler wasn't needed. I mean, Dark Ruler forces out the counter trap, so now I can still do damage. So let's see. Use gates. Let's see. You know, I want to force out those negations. So Appaloosa, I'm going to drop Kurikara now for, you know, first a Surge, Samsara Lotus, go for Anima to again force out negations. That's all fine. This is all cool. Use Illusion to drop Souls. See if there's more negations. Not yet. We know of one, right? The level 10 Synchro, so normal summon, extra normal summon Samsara Lotus, and here's again where the Little Knight package comes into play. Such a fantastic card, a very versatile card to force out more interruptions, and this is game. Again, the opponent having a strong beat stick, go for Yubel, search the continuous spell Chronicle. Every time you special summon a Yubel card, it gains a counter, very similar to 6 Samurais. Search the Grinder Golem, which is not needed here in this situation, because again, the opponent has one. Double Yubel, and this is game. You can just crash into your opponent's stronger monsters, they'll get the damage, and you can go for Gustav Max main phase 2 for the, you know, extra burn damage, and this is GG, well played. Yups, Yubel, guys, Yubel. Okay, so going second again, drawing the incarnate forms, it's kind of iffy, but again, your deck is running, you know, multiple cards that kind of force you discard the cards, so I guess it's fine, you could get away with those. So Kashtira, banishing, what is it, 3 cards from the top of my deck, and you'll see what those are in a couple of moments. Sadly, I can't punish this with Nip. Imagine that's why Nip is there. Triple Nip. Just get rid of their board, give them a strong monster, a strong token. But in this case, not going to work. I do draw Super Poly, so that's fantastic. I am able to use Super Poly on both Dark, yeah. So drop Venom, and Venom, I guess, forces out Fenrir. So we definitely want to use that again. Just, you know, just force out the negations, so the Yubel engine can come to its right. Normal summon Beckoning Beast, that forces out another negation, that's okay. Magician's Souls package is still there, and here is where the Gates engine comes into play. So normal summon or search Samsara Lotus, Anima, I guess this Anima wasn't needed. It kind of makes my Kurikara a little bit weaker. Little Knight again, coming in clutch, getting rid of the continuous spell, because I can do damage, I can, right, yeah, but I mean, getting rid of the continuous spell is always nice. Search Nightmare, pop my own Yubel, and this should trigger, you know, special summoning Yubel. I do have the trap, which is not live. At least I can't use its Super Poly effect because I can't discard. But this is okay. During the end phase, I control Yubel, so I can reborn Samsara for a potential monster negation. But again, Yubel triggers, so I'm forced to tribute itself or another monster. I'm going to keep Yubel on field, so again now my opponent is forced to eventually attack Yubel, but again Fenrir can just banish that. And here, but again, yeah, there is Little Knight that, you know, is so good, guys, Jesus. Get rid of something from your opponent with those Link Wands, right, and during your opponent, like, bounce stuff. And this is again game, and again the slow or low attack Yubel monsters won't do it, but I think I already have Grinder Golem, and oh no, I'm going to search it, right, so that's cool. Get Yubel in field, and then with Gates again, discard it. At least I should be discarding it, or is it not needed? Probably not. So reborn Yubel, the Grinder is not, I don't think I have a way to discard it, I think, yeah. Maybe if I played it a little bit differently, but I mean, this is more than enough. So Fenrir, Gustav Max, yep, and that's game. So last example, unfortunate but going first, it is what it is. So get ashed on gates, okay, that's cool. Samsara hits, connects, so I can go for Yubel. This is a bigger problem though, Yubel getting negated now, that prevents the Nightmare Search. So again, get Samsara on field, Magician's Souls for only one draw, sadly, because I need the Super Poly. And you know, this board is okayish because Link Karibo prevents my opponent from attacking into Samsara, so that kind of makes it so that I can kind of protect Samsara and at least have one monster negation. But again, as you see here in the hand, I'm getting thrusted into talents, into do draws, and that's a bit too much. I only have one interruption left, being Super Poly. Which again, okay, I could potentially Super Poly the entire board, but what after that, right? So that's a problem. The thing is that maybe I could have Super Polyed a bit sooner. Yeah, maybe thinking about it, right? Thing is that Visas hits the field, it searches the Tiddlement field spell that searches Visas on board, and I believe that's the correct way to Super Poly. Again, preventing the Scareclaw search, potential extra draw plus pop because of the Scareclaw field. So again, this board is kind of weak. The fusion hits, you know, Yubels cannot be destroyed by Battle Arc artifacts. That's a nice addition. And yeah, Nightmare is not going to help me because it needs to destroy the card, and that's a problem in order for it to search. And now, yeah, there's no interruption, so this is game over. So really cool, like this new support is really nice. I like the build. I think only one Grinder Golem is fine. I don't think you need to run more, but maybe from like going second a bit more Lightning Storms, maybe going after the back row. But other than that, I feel this is... I don't see any other options, maybe. Again, I tested Fire Kings, but I didn't really like it. Chaos Angel is cheating. Baron wasn't an out. Nope. But Chaos Angel is, so it is what it is. Okay, so again, like always, feel free to leave suggestions. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like. If you enjoyed the video, leave them signing out. Peace.